conflicts.
Yeah. And, we're going to start off by capping some of these important factors that we try to provide to parents that are divorcing, that we call that co-parenting their children. So, again, in a troubled relationship that is, not doing well, here are 6 things that a parent should do for their child. Number 1.
You should focus on your relationship with your child.
Okay. And what do you mean by your relationship?
Well, what kind of time are you spending with them? Are you spending quality time with them? Are you doing things at their level?
Don't be asking the children, what are you doing with mom? Where's mom bringing you? Or where's dad going? And what are you doing? And et cetera. Don't investigate. Don't use investigative or detective questioning to force the child to disclose what the other relationship. Focus on your relationship, your time with the child, and the time you have that's interactive, that's quality time. Okay. Number 2, encourage your child to express their feelings. I find with my son that I've had to work to teach him feeling words.
Yeah.
At 12, 13 years old, he's very good at facts, but he's not real good at feelings.
Right.
Parents need to understand that when they're fighting and feuding and they're breaking up, the kids, they feel the knots in their stomach. They know that they have anxiety, but they often don't have the vocabulary to explain what those feelings are.
And some of that may be because they have not experienced that feeling before, so they don't know what it is.
How would they know what loss of relationship is? So they've never had one.
Right.
But they can see mom and dad breaking up. So you want to encourage your children to use expressive words, to use words that express their feelings. Number 3.
Allow your children to love both parents.
Isn't that the truth? I have so many partners that go out of their way to almost teach the child to hate the other parent. I'm going to give you enough facts about the things your dad or your mom did that I'm going to make sure that on your own by yourself, you never willfully care about this person.
That is so awful.
It's sick stuff because remember, A plus B is not equal C. A plus B equals AB. You can't discredit the father or mother of the child, which is the component of that child's genetics, without introducing some notion of failure or brokenness within the child themselves.
Right. And here's the way I ask them to look at it. That person may have sucked as a partner for you, but that doesn't mean they suck as a parent. And when you look at your child, is this a bad thing?
Yes.
And they never think their children are bad things.
Sure.
And yet they can just think that person over there, and they completely dump. That's part of this child, this beautiful little being in front of me.
That's the way I like the way you put that. They may have sucked as a partner, but that doesn't mean they're going to suck as a father or a mother.
Sometimes you'll ask them that. Well, how are they as a parent? Well, they're pretty good as a parent, but I'm so mad at them.
I'm so mad. That's right. And so you're overlaying to them and to the child this anger that's the result of some other relationship that has nothing to do with the child.
Yes,
okay?
Right.
Number 4, give the child time to adjust. Relationships take time to break up, but emotions also take time to heal.
Right.
You can't instantaneously expect your child to move on. It takes time. It's okay for your child to be resistant. It's okay for that child to ask, I want you and mom to get together, or you and dad to stay together.
Right.
It's okay for these things to be said. Don't get angry about it. Say, we're better friends than we were as roommates or lovers. And, mom and I will always love you. We'll always take care of you. You'll always be the focus because I am mom, I am dad, or mom, I am dad, and she's mom for life. So we're not abandoning you. We just can't be together.
Right.
But give your kids time to adjust.
And some of the most well-adjusted kids I've ever talked to will talk about, they'll talk to a stranger about their 2 homes.
Oh, that's interesting.
I have my home with mom, and I have my home with dad. And they'll go on to kind of describe them. And when I hear the child and they talk about the two things they got going on and what's going on in each one, I'm like, these parents have done a good job. They have a well-adjusted child to this situation that didn't work out for them.
Also, I've got to throw this in for giving time to adjust. I've seen so many parents in going through divorce jump right into a new relationship. And, years later, those kids are now in their 20s and they're still furious. They're still furious that dad or mom jumped into this new relationship, got a divorce, 2 days later got remarried, and we're years later and they're still angry that these partners just jumped into new relationships and forced us to accept new parents or step parents into our lives.
Yeah. The other side of that is sometimes they have abandonment issues, especially if the parent that left and remarried doesn't take the time to have that quality relationship with the child. They feel like they weren't good enough. And that's why this person left and started a, quote, new family.
Fifth idea of things you should do with your child is to be positive, be encouraging, and be supportive. You're moving on in your relationship. The child, too, is moving on. And so it's only natural for the child to feel some anxiety or apprehension about, Dad's got a new house and I don't feel comfortable there. The bedroom's not like my bedroom. It's not my toys. And, Dad's got a new life and I feel very uncomfortable there. But you got to be there in the backdrop, if you will, cheerleading, if you will. You know what? It's always that way for all of us. When we first start moving into a new place, it's always strange. It takes time to adjust. Take it one step at a time. And by being encouraging and being supportive, you're taking what is a bad situation and hopefully, doing the best you can with it. But certainly don't do fatalistic thinking.
Sure.
Don't buy into the child's fears. Don't accept the child. I had a client not too long ago where the child was crying and fitful about going to see Dad at his new location. And yet the parent accepted the child's fear as it was real and then, made no effort to, try to assert some, how would you say this, some cheerleading. Go ahead, try it out. Instead of doing that, said, nope, okay, you don't have to go. If you don't want to go, don't go. Well, that didn't help things at all because it exaggerated the child's fear. And now the child really thought this was all awful and things got worse.
And to have done that in healthy ways, you're right. They would have been, mom or dad would have been supportive to say, that's Dad's new place over there. And I'm sure that he has a spot for you and that there are special things there that will be between you and him. And I want you to go check this out.
Of half the couples and clients I've worked with, when we encourage the child to go and come back and give me the information, half of them, the child comes back and says, wow, that was really neat. They lived on a bayou or they lived near a river or they got a big park and oh my God. Half of them. So half of them, the fears actually dissipated.
Sure.
Of the other half, you'd be surprised. They were able to work through it 100%, never a problem, as long as they encourage a child to move forward.
And I want to bring up one more point there.
Yeah.
And, we always have to remember that as parents, we, for years, are our children's number one mentor. They watch everything we do. And so we have to be supportive of whatever's going on in positive ways.
That's absolutely. And finally, the sixth thing a parent should do is be active in your child's life. I run into so many parents that they tend to be spectators. They tend to be taxi drivers, chauffeurs. They drop them off, they pick them up, but they really aren't active. For instance, I had a man I worked with recently who was very proud that he would bring his son to all the football games, drop him off, pick him up, but he never sat in the stands. He never was part of that cadre of people that screamed and yelled and said, you can do it. And so there was something missing. He felt that he was doing a good job, but when I asked him...
Because he was doing.
He was a human doing, not a human being. When I asked him, what does it take for you to be with your child, to encourage your child, to watch and to be a part of his life? And he had to really work on it. He found it boring, but he did it.
Sure.
And after a while, he did start to see his son in a different way because he began to walk the walk with his son instead of sort of observing at a distance.
Sure. It can be awkward at first when you're not used to doing it, and so, take your time. Plan short things that you spend time with your children, not, we're going to spend the whole day being close when you're not used to spending 20 minutes being close.
Well, there we go. There's our 6 points, 6 ideas that a parent should do for their child. And we're going to come up with another question here.